So you both have Enrile as your last name, and it's very weighty last name. It's recognized by a lot of people. I want to know between the two of you, what is the biggest misconception about you?
Who's gonna
Mom,
go first?
Mom, go ahead.
Okay. They think I'm mataray. And for those that don't know what mataray means, it's being snobbish or standoffish. Um, but I am actually not mataray. I'm actually quite the opposite. I just kind of look it, especially when I have my makeup on, but I'm not. So that's the misconception about me that I often hear a lot.
And
How
Kris,
about
how
you,
about
Kris?
you?
Um, there's a lot. It's unapproachable and intimidating. But I think the thing that tops the list of misconceptions is that I live off my last name or that it gives me an infinite amount of opportunities. But like if anything, I've had to work twice as hard to not only show that I'm worthy, but also show that I'm capable of doing things. So because of all of that, I've grown to be very independent. And I've learned to, pave the way for my future.
I have to say, I am a big fan of Delimondo. This
Same.
has
I
been
love
a
Delimondo.
staple in my college life. Like, I studied in Australia, and my mom would always bring two luggages of this for me and Theo. So I have to ask, tell us what inspired you about, to start it, and what keeps you inspired to keep growing it, Katrina.
Okay. I started Delimondo first. It didn't have a name. It wasn't Delimondo until in the mid 2000s. Okay, but I started Delimondo long. I mean, I started the product, creating products, way before it even had a name. I used to gift them in cans without any labels for Christmas. So, and then after a while, people started asking me where they could order the corn. It started with the corned beef, okay. Um, they asked me where they could get that, and I said I make it, and then they said, oh, okay. Then after that, people were saying maybe you should start selling it. I said, oh, okay, but I didn't know where, right, to sell it. So it started off as me really just giving it off as gifts. And then come 20, about mid 2000 and 2000, the 2000s, about specifically 2006. Um, I said I'm going to make a whole line of products because we often go to delis, right? And most of the delis that are here in the Philippines, they carry imported products. Most of them, I mean, majority. So I wanted to make a deli that would cater to everything that could be done. I mean, you have all the international offerings, cuisines there, but made and manufactured locally. So I started my other lines. I had, of course, I had my corned beef line already there, and that's when I came up with the term Delimondo because it's a deli and of the world. Mondo, right? So Delimondo, okay? And I did my packaging, and everybody started saying, "Why is your packaging like that? It looks like dog
Dog
food."
food, yeah.
It's okay. I said it served a purpose for me. I said because if it was gonna be on an aisle on the grocery, and I was already thinking big time, even if we weren't even there yet, I said because I have a eye problem. I said it's easier for me to to go down the aisle, and if I see a white space, I know that those are all my products. So that's why I used white.
Yeah.
Anyway, so and I wanted to really kind of keep it sleek and simple.
Mm.
And so from there, all the other products grew. I don't know if you're familiar that we're not only ranch style corned beef, but we have a
I
whole
have
slew.
the
I also
garlic and chili is our
I
favorite in
love
this
the
family.
chili oil. That's like my favorite. The
Yeah.
bottle of it, I love that.
What's the best lesson that you've learned from your mom or quality that you've picked up from her that you've absorbed in your life?
My mom is a very empathetic person, sometimes at a fault. I've seen my mom, like, with no questions asked, jump in to help a lot of people. And I've seen her be generous with her resources, with her time, with her love. And I think, seeing that constantly growing up, that's definitely something that I picked up in my life.
Hmm.
And what would you say, Katrina, as well, reverse from your daughter, Kris? Like, what did you learn from her?
Chris,
Because, yeah.
Chris is a very feisty uh, person who speaks her mind out, and she has no filters, and she's it's very real and raw. As a matter of fact, I guess all my kids are like that, and I kind of, growing up during my time, when you spoke out, you were branded as being disrespectful.
Yeah.
So my kids are all very strong-willed. I mean, and they all. I probably just allowed them to be
Yeah.
who they are, and yeah. So I'm trying to emulate that too, because for the longest time I was supposed to be just quiet, you know,
Yeah.
not unheard. So that's a good thing that now think people can, especially women, are
Mm.
allowed to have an opinion, are allowed to say the things that they need to say,
Yeah.
and be heard, basically.
But it's interesting. So, Chris, like, I think your mom has shared a lot about your strength and your feistiness. You are an advocate of mental health and domestic abuse and the awareness around that. What is the one message that you want to give people, especially who are, struggling right now to speak up, and they're probably suffering at home because whether they're quarantined with someone who abuses them or they're in a toxic relationship?
With those two issues, there's a lot of stigma that surrounds both of them. And I think it's important for people who are suffering from mental health issues or are in domestic abuse situations. It's important for them to know that shame dies when you share your stories. And
Mm.
your voice is a powerful tool, no matter how soft you think you're speaking. So the I'm only saying that from obviously my personal experience. Like, that's empowered me most, speaking and then listening to other people. So, once they accept their well, not accept, but like once they acknowledge their situation and they're able to finally voice something out, it lifts like a whole, like, the weight just like falls off of your shoulders.
So, other than your love for makeup and beauty, what are a few things that bond the both of you?
Mm.
It's abusive relationships and traumas, and then like
Ah,
uh,
I like how nonchalant that was.
I know.
I love it.
Well, we
I'm
were
also
supposed
like
to
that with
like
big
the light
issues.
side, and then we went back dark.
I like it.
okay, it's
Yeah.
all right. And this I have in your podcast. I'm going to have to ask forgiveness to Chris and to all my children that have seen me go through really abusive and failed relationships, and probably that was the way Kristen thought a relationship should have really been. I mean that that's the the norm for her that she saw growing up. So that's probably what she imbibed as acceptable, which is not really the case. So, Chris, I'm so sorry for not being strong enough then to be able to accept that I needed to fight. An issue and being thrown at me politically because I kind of have thrown already my hat and I'm going to run for Congress, and they're making that an issue against me, not even knowing what um, um, caused all these relationships to fail. And just because you're a woman and you had three marriages and children with four different men, they've already branded you as such, not knowing the struggles and all the abuse and all the trauma that I had to go through for each and every one. Who wants to have a failed relationship? No one.
Yeah,
You always try,
exactly.
right?
Yeah. And what's ridiculous all the time, did you notice, like, as a woman, you run for Congress, and then these things, relationship issues, having
Yeah,
children with multiple men, it becomes an issue more so if you're a woman. But if
yeah.
you're a guy, it's never thrown at you, which is
But
ridiculous.
but there's one thing different though.
Hmm.
I did have a marriage and a relationship. I didn't do anything outside or
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
extramarital like some of them do. But then
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
not an issue when it's them.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you need also to forgive yourself for those
Very
things.
consoling to know.
Say
Yeah.
it's a good thing, Chris, you said forgive yourself because you really have to learn. I mean, when it's easy to say, yeah, I've forgiven myself. But actually, if unless you do the inner work, healing, and healing doesn't come just like that. It's a process, um, and nobody can tell you why are you still stuck. Why are you still doing this? Why are you allowing this? Why this? Why the, all the questions? There's no timetable for healing.
If there's one piece of advice that your mom gave you about relationships, what would it be? The best dating advice you've ever received?
In my last relationship, she kept having these talks with me, and one of them was stop shrinking yourself to stroke someone's ego. And that was very important for me because, like, towards the end, she kept asking me, like, who is Kris? Who are you? And I, like, could not answer that question anymore because I, like, lost my whole essence, you know? So, I,
Yeah,
yeah.
Chris morphs into the person she's with. So
Okay, past
Oh,
tense,
okay.
it's past tense.
Morphed.
No, not anymore. We've evolved.
We
In
need
the
to find
past.
someone close to you so you morph exactly to who you are.
Or make him morph to you.
Yeah,
and that's what I didn't like
yeah.
Mm.
because she didn't know how much she was worth. The thing that got me is you put your life, and I'm sure you guys can relate to this, you
Mm.
put your life on hold and made the other person your whole world, and everything that he did is what you did. You
Mm.
I'm gonna drink a bit more.
you forgot about Chris. And you know
Yeah.
what? I did the same thing. That's why I have to ask forgiveness from my children because that is
Mm.
probably a learned circumstance for Kristen to have seen that, I was, it's like the song of Beyonce, cater to you. Was it something like that?
Yeah.
Ladies, what is one quote that you both live by? It can be different quotes, by the way.
Can I
Okay,
read mine? Because, like,
Yeah,
it's
for
quite
sure.
Sure.
long. Mom, can I go first?
go ahead.
Okay. This quote is by Ian Thomas. It's be soft. Don't let the world make you hard. Don't let the pain make you hate. Don't let the bitterness steal your sweetness. Take pride that even though the rest of the world may disagree, you still believe it to be a beautiful place.
Mine is
Beautiful.
mine is very simple. I go by the golden rule. Do not do unto others what you do not want others to do unto you. And there's a story behind that.
Hmm.
if you have the time to listen.
Of course, of course.
Yes.
We always have the time for these
It was
things.
the best advice and story inculcated to me by my dad. I mean, he kept repeating this, and I kept listening to him. My father obviously was a very, very poor. He came from very poor beginnings, and he's also been bullied, also been ostracized, also been mocked. He was a bastard. So back in Cagayan, where he was from, he was like really um, ridiculed and everything. So, but he strove, and he not only had no money for education. He was actually peddled to do work for relatives just so that he could get educated. He was a he was a fisherman. He was a houseboy. He was a cocinero. Everything, you name it, my dad did it. He was even a construction worker, and digging ditches in the road. Everything under the heat, just so that he could get his education. He's obviously met a lot of people,
Hmm.
and a lot of people have mistreated him. So this was his own advice to me. He told me, Katrina, you always make sure that the people you meet going up, you always be kind to them. Always show kindness and respect, because they are the very same people you will meet when you come down. And I go,
Hmm.
what do you mean? Then he said, okay, I'll give you a story. He said, so there was one person, okay, that stabbed him, okay, because there was like jealousy sort of thing in his school. They stabbed him, and they were rich kids, and my dad was a poor fisher folk, and he was the one expelled from that school. Even if it wasn't him that did anything, he was the one who had all the injuries.
He
They
got
went
stabbed and expelled.
He got stabbed, yeah, and went to court. He lost, and then on top of that, got expelled. Anyway, one of so my several years later, my dad became defense secretary of national defense. That one of those people, there were four of them. One of those people went to him and said, "I need a job," and my dad helped him and gave him a job.
The one who stabbed him.
One of those.
Wow.
Mm,
I think
that's
that is also
something.
faced with he's a forgiveness, being a forgiving person.
Yeah.
It's
That's
amazing.
why you'll never know what fate will what what cards you're gonna be dealt with
Mm.
in life, and what fate has for you. So never belittle anybody. You never know where they're gonna be, and you never know if they'll be able to help you. So
Mm.
again, everybody that you meet while you're going up, be very nice, be very kind to everybody, show them respect, because they
Mm.
may be the very same people that, if you go down, are going to be the ones to help you.
That's a very amazing story. Both of you ladies have such a wealth of experience. What that is not without like the hustle or the hard work that goes into it. What's the best habit that you've trained yourself to do?
Kris, you go.
For me, it's setting boundaries and learning to say no.
Okay.
I was always a yes girl, even though I didn't want to do something, or I just could never say no to people. I think that's something I got from my mom too, because I never saw her say no.
Mini
Hmm.
me.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
So
we don't know how to say no.
yeah.
For me, it's okay to fail. Never fear failing. It's always the being able to stand up again, and dust off everything, and try again. Just keep trying. you'll never know when you're gonna hit the jackpot, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, but if you stop and you get stuck, then that's it. So never ever fear failing. Nobody died trying.
Mm.
Just try. I'm not sure about I'm not sure if that works for marriage though, but
Oh yeah.
else, yeah.
Don't try too many times
Yeah. Speaking of,
unless it's worth it.
yeah, when do you give up though? I mean, just since you
Me?
made a talk about marriage, about when do
Yeah.
you give up on a relationship? What's the moment you're like,
When do you walk
tama na,
away?
Okay,
tama na.
Tama na.
this is me because I am not dependent on anybody I'm not financially dependent on any of the men in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's another tip, ladies. You have to be financially independent on your own.
Mm.
And
That
Hard.
is advice too. But
because I was financially independent, the minute they disrespected the relationship, the marriage, okay, I said, go. You want the other girl? Just go. I don't make it get any longer. If I see the red flags even that late, okay, then they have to go.
mm,
I like that
Yeah.
moment of disrespect.
But the last marriage I did really try.
Oh.
We stayed together for 18 years, but then
so long.
I know I thought I
Kris,
was I
yeah.
thought I was going to celebrate a 20-year or a 25-year anniversary, but it still didn't happen. So, but I
Okay.
tried.
You
Yeah.
look good. You look good. That's the best thing I'm going to say. I've got a couple of yes or no questions.
Okay.
Number one, do you believe in luck?
No,
No.
No. Okay. Do you believe that connection can be established without physical contact?
Yes.
There.
Those are your two. Okay.
Yeah.
So you two women look like incredible go-getters to me. Like go-getters. So how do you start any passion project or anything in general? How do you start?
to me, to start, I'm an entrepreneur by heart. I don't think people can learn entrepreneurship in school. You either have it or you don't.
Mm.
But to me, there are three things. I mean, I'm talking about business here. Okay. Um, to start something, you have to have the passion for it. You have to have the wherewithal. I mean, the determination, the passion to see things through, right? You have to have patience because there will be a lot of people that are going to close their doors on you, roadblocks, everything. You get stuck, you don't. You're not turning a profit, nothing, then people are just saying forget about it and all that. And you have to have a product that you so much believe in, because with those three, if you have that, and when I say, and there are people, okay, that can create, right? But is it an original creation, or is it a creation because they got inspired looking in the internet? That's why I spend a lot of time being alone, because that's the time without looking through the internet for inspiration, because that's where I get that's where I get a download, an aha moment, a download
So,
actually.
ladies, how do you define success?
You want to go ahead?
Yeah, go. Go ahead.
To me, 2019, I started the slow down movement. I didn't know that there was a foreboding of what was to come in 2020. But for me, success is when you're no longer dictated by the dictates of the world, that what happens in the world does not faze you anymore, and that you have nothing to prove anymore, then that for me is success. You have nothing to prove to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful.
Great.
My
Okay,
turn.
Kris. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
go, Kris.
Um, there's a lot of failure surrounding success, and a lot of people don't understand that it's okay to fall short and that it's okay to not be good at something in the beginning. But for me, like, success is believing that you can and working your way through that.
Okay, so we are a show about love and relationships and how to improve your relationship with yourself and others. So here's a big question. What is your definition of love? What is love?
Kris first. Naman.
Okay, wow. Um, Love for me, well, the meaning of love has changed and evolved as I've changed and evolved. So right now, for me, love is showing up for people. That's it.
It's a good one. Yes.
It's a strong one.
Yeah.
For me, um, you can only love someone when you know the person. Okay, you can't love the person when you've met the person. You can like the person, you can be attracted to the person, and you can desire the person, but that those are totally very different things. Love is, to me, First Corinthians 13.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I know it goes, love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast. It's not rude, it is not self seeking, it's not easily angered, it keeps no records of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails.
To me, that is also one of my favorite
Always
definitions
gives
of
me
love.
goosebumps.
Yeah.
No
Really.
matter how many times I hear it, I just have to agree 500%.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
favorite.
First time I heard that wasn't a walk to remember.
exactly.
Same?
Not from the Bible,
Yes.
but
And then
Correct.
I was like,
Oh,
let me
also
look that
remember.
up.
Like, okay, yun na.
okay.
Yeah.
Besides, what book or movie has changed you both? Maybe Katrina.
Oh, it's not a book. It's a movie that I was going through some well story of my life. One of the downs.
Mm.
I was going through a rough patch, and I watched the movie Me Before You, and I've
Oh.
seen that movie over 50 times. Still trying to figure out, was it him before her or her before him, right? But never mind that, and every time my kids would come into my room, it's, "You're still watching the movie?" Yeah, I mean, to the point that when I went to England, I went to the spot where they filmed that movie. I don't know. Have you watched Me Before You?
No, I
Yes, I
haven't. I was
read it
gonna
also.
ask.
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't.
Great.
So
I haven't
so
watched it.
that's pretty much sums up you know what I think love should be. Me Before You.
Okay, I will
Mm.
have to watch it after this. How about you, Kris?
Mine's a book. It's called Know My Name by Chanel Miller. If you don't know her, she was the girl that was assaulted at Stanford.
Oh, okay,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So this book was recommended to me by my friend Callie Huff, and right before I entered law school, and it was such a heartbreaking and powerful story, but it fueled my why. And I really think, it's always good when you find things that can fill up your like why jar. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
that like really just changed my life.
You could have lunch with one person, dead or alive. Who would it be? So, Kris.
Um, Ruth Ginsburg. She died last September, and I was heartbroken. Like I was unable to function in class. And okay, her biopic came out in 2018, and it was called The Basis of Sex or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And that came out as I was going through my breakup. And then when I watched that movie, I remembered I wanted to be a lawyer because I totally forgot that that was my dream for like
Because you morphed into this guy.
yes, because I morphed. I totally forgot about me. And so when I was
Yeah.
watching that movie, I actually watched it with Jamie Sherry. We were here in
Oh,
San
okay.
Francisco and we watched it together, and I was crying my eyes out, and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was just
I can
like,
imagine Jamie. Are you right?
yeah. And I was like, no, this is everything I want in my life, like right
Yeah.
here. And I totally forgot that's what I wanted. So after that, I kind of, was figuring out my moves on how to, like, where am I going to start with law school? Where am I going to go?
Yeah.
So she's definitely someone I'd want to sit down and have a chat with.
Mm.
Katrina.
Well, Kristen corrected me. I called her Lady Di, but she's a mom. She's Princess Di. But I'm
Uh,
correcting now. She was Princess Diana,
Yeah.
but then
yeah.
she was stripped off. But so she became Lady Diana.
Oh, okay. My bad.
This is a very strange story I am going to tell you. Why? Um, the day she died, Kristen and I were in Subic. Um, Kristen was a little girl. And we were in one of those APEC villas. We rented one of those APEC villas. And my then my ex-husband was downstairs, and he was with some people, and he was playing mahjong. And so I said, I'm gonna go up because I don't gamble. So I went upstairs to the master's bedroom, turned on the television there, and they only had CNN, right? And I fell asleep, and then I woke up, and then I saw this was, and mind you, this was 11 o'clock at night. Europe at that time was 7 hours, so it was
Nice.
still it was, behind us. So at 11 o'clock minus seven, that would be what, like 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon
Four.
in Paris, right? Okay, I'm just setting the scene, okay, so
Yeah.
that you guys get it.
In the afternoon. Yeah.
I wake up, I see breaking news, flashing lights. This was at 11 o'clock at night, okay,
Mm.
and there was commotions in Paris. Lady died. I saw the whole thing. She died. You know, I felt so bad, right? But this was 11 o'clock. I go back to sleep. The next day, we went out for lunch, and
Yeah.
we went. There was a television in the restaurant, and it goes breaking news. Oh, I said, I know that already. I saw that last night. It's not breaking news. It was breaking news. In other words, it was the same scene. In other
Mm.
words, Princess Di showed me she died 12 hours before she actually died. So my question is,
That's
why?
so.
So if
That's
I
so
am given
creepy.
a chance, I would want to meet her and ask her, why did you show me you want that this was gonna happen? Why
Yeah.
me? Why did you show me 12 hours before you were going to die, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't have, and I had no way of warning you what was gonna happen.
Kind of have goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good story.
So that's my story.
Good smell. So, ladies, we're down to our last five questions. We'll make it like a quick fire round. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what is one thing you don't understand about yourself? Kris, go first. One thing
Okay.
you don't understand about yourself.
My capacity to love and forgive. I don't understand.
Yeah,
Matiisin.
Yeah.
me that I have a hard time saying no, and I forgive people that have hurt me
Mm.
over and over again,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I keep forgiving them still.
Okay. What is something beautiful you see every day?
Mom, go first.
My plants.
Mm.
Okay. When I see people evolving and healing, I find that
Nice.
interesting.
Okay, here I like this one.
Every
What
day.
is what is the sexiest thing about you?
Yeah, Chris, you answer that.
I don't know. People say my eyes, but I'd like for my mind to be the sexy thing
I was
about.
gonna say
Oh,
that. I
I
hope you
like
say
that.
that.
Yeah, like
Eyes are mine. Good combination.
yeah.
Mm.
Mom,
At,
you.
at my age, I don't think of that anymore.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah,
You look
everybody's
great.
sexy.
Yeah, Mom. You just
Yeah,
had your sexiest.
Hmm.
I have to feel sexy. No, honestly, I don't really think about it anymore. I mean, it's like somebody can be nude in front of me, and it's not next. You know,
I wish I could say the same.
what is what is sexy? What do I think is sexy about me? I don't know. People say my eyes too. I guess, and
Mm.
my children got that feature. But I guess it's really my heart. It's what I it's when you talk with sincerity and mindfulness and everything. I think that's the sexiest thing one can do.
It's like Miss Universe answers.
I
I know,
know.
right?
You
About
great
your
guys.
yeah.
Actually, someone told us we should run the Q&A
For
for
believing Filipinas because of the
Filipinas.
questions we
Yeah.
ask.
We should pitch this.
Okay, so finish the statement. I will be content when blank.
Who, you or me?
I can go first. I will be content when I see a significant improvement on the stigma surrounding mental health and violence against women. When women stop being afraid of men, when men stop attacking and traumatizing women, I think I'll be content then.
Good answer.
Thank you.
I will be content when I can live in a life that's so simple with because one thing I learned is money and things will never make you happy. So when I can be untethered to any gadget, any phone, live my life as simple as possible, then I know I'm content.
Beautiful. I like that. Okay, this is the last question and my personal favorite question. Use three words to describe your life. One word for the past, one word for the present, and one word for the future. Kris, let's start with you.
You know, this was a really hard question because I was like sitting there, one word. My past is definitely chaotic. That's the word. My
Mm-hmm.
present is peaceful, and my future is limitless.
Okay,
I
Universe
like the
ground
word
each other.
limitless. Okay, Katrina is going to
Okay.
my past,
respond.
my past is forgiveness. My present is surrender, and my future is faith.
You both
Both of
deserve the
you. Two
crown.
crowns, two crowns.
I love this. So thank you both so much. I have to say this was I didn't expect this conversation to last this long, but it was such a good conversation.
Yeah.
And I have to say my favorite quote from this is don't shrink yourself to stroke his or anybody else's ego. I like that.
Yeah. And thank
Thank
you
you for
for
having
being
us.
honest and vulnerable with us. I know sometimes it's not easy to share it with strangers, but I think we're very appreciative that you shared it with us. So thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. What,
Hmm?
Mom?
Best thing is we enjoyed every minute.
Oh,
Enjoy every minute of your life.
Yeah.
Yes.
aw.
Thank
Live
you so much.
now. Live here. You don't have problems right now. So
Yeah, definitely.
Thank,
Thank you to your
yeah.
birds. They're lovely. They
Thank
calm
you to the
me.
bird. And again, thank you for the gift of Delimondo. Okay.
Wait.